Right now, let's turn to your top story this morning here on Opening Statements. That's little baby Emmanuel. His remains still nowhere to be found as his father, Jake Haro, pleads guilty to his murder. Haro sobbed in that California courtroom on Thursday as he admitted to abusing and murdering his defenseless baby.
How do you plead to the charge in count 1 of the amended felony complaint, a violation of Penal Code Section 187A?
I'm guilty.
And for clarification for the record, that's going to be in the second degree?
Yes.
Sir, do you admit that you committed a violation of Penal Code Section 187, Subdivision A, a felony, in that on or about August 5th of 2025 through and including August 14th of 2025 in the County of Riverside, State of California, you did willfully and unlawfully murder baby Doe, initials EH, a human being?
I admit.
Now, Jake Haro's wife and baby Emmanuel's mother, Rebecca, was in court too. Remember, she's charged as well. She entered a plea of not guilty in this case, so no change for her. Now, the same day of Jake Haro's sentencing, November 3rd, Rebecca is set to have her preliminary hearing on the murder charges and the charge of filing a false police report. That stems from the defendant's falsified report of Emmanuel's abduction on August the 14th. Now, Rebecca Haro claimed that she was attacked in a parking lot while she was changing Emmanuel's diaper, claimed that she was beat up and he was taken, but we know that was not the case. So what comes next in the investigation? Is Rebecca going to trial? And will baby Emmanuel ever be brought home? Let's bring in our guests. I have with me private investigator with Black Ops, private investigator. She's also a military veteran and a veteran of the NYPD, Manuel Gomez, and criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor, David Bruno. Good morning to you both. Manuel, let me start with you, please. Your reaction to this guy pleading?
Well, Julie, I have to agree with you. I mean, thank God that he had the final awareness to take this plea, because the case was so against him, there was no way he was going to win. And it does save the public time and money. But do I believe this body is going to be found now? I have to say, Julie, no. But there are two possible locations. I've been doing a lot of research into this case. One, the baby could possibly be at the landfill that was near, not far from his home, because there was indications of him going to two different locations, dropping off bags in a dumpster. That's one location. But the second one was where he bought the baby, and I mean, where he bought the cops, which was in that canyon area off the highway. Now, the problem with this is that if he did bury that baby, it was a shallow grave. There's coyotes, mountain lions, there's all type of carnivorous creatures that will eat that body and drag it off. So I think the possibility of us finding the remains is very bleak right now.
Manuel, thank you so much for that insight. You've given us such great insight since this news broke. David Bruno, I want to turn to you now. I want to share some of the details with this plea. Some of our courties were wondering, was this a straight-up plea to the indictment, or was there an agreement? No agreement here with the DA's office. He pleaded to all of the charges, and the judge will make the determination on the sentence. He's looking at a potential of 25 years to life in prison. So no agreement to charges, no agreement to sentence. David, you were a prosecutor. How rare in your experience is something like this, where there's no deal to anything and somebody pleads very early on like this?
Extremely rare, because, you know, our criminal justice system is set up for plea negotiations. When we talk about plea negotiations, typically there's a benefit to the bargain between one side and the other. You know, because that otherwise, if everything just went to trial, there'd be just like a deadlock in all of our courts with the minimal resources, the scarce resources of our courts. And that's the reason that plea bargaining is there, is to push things through and be efficient in the courtrooms and avoid trials when we could. So generally speaking, these cases that don't go to trial do result in pleas. However, this prosecutor could have said there is no plea agreement, leaving him with no real option, honestly, except that I just wonder, was there a conversation about getting information about where the body was. We have talked about a similar situation in Koberger, about the lack of motive and explanation from Koberger. And in this case, I wonder if prosecutors were at the very least asking where the body was. And then final point, the wife. The wife's got her court date coming up, and we got to understand what's happening with the wife. I mean, is he exonerating her? Are they cutting her loose? Is she just pleading to the false reporting? So we have a number of questions still that remain. And then finally, how do we avoid this from happening again? Because this particular defendant had a prior incident in 2018 where he probably shouldn't even been let out to even commit this crime. Those are my points, Julie.
That's so true, David. For anybody who might have missed the news on this guy, Jake Haro severely beat his baby girl a few years back so badly that she is permanently disabled from the beating that he inflicted on her. And he got a probationary sentence, which is disgusting. It's something that Manuel and I have talked about a lot on this program. And David, I know you agree, he shouldn't have been out. He was out, and he was able to have another son, and look what happened. But now he's not going to be out. He's gonna stay in for a long time. I hope the judge maxes him out on as many years as he can give him. David, you brought up Rebecca, so I want to talk about her. I have a clip for you both. I know you'll remember. This is a clip that went viral. This got the case on the national stage when these two held a little press conference, if you will, in California and pleaded for their son to be brought home.
We come to you guys asking you to help us find our son. He was abducted last night from Big 5. Somebody struck my wife while she was trying to change his diaper. And we just ask if anybody knows anything to please contact Ukaipa Police Department.
Don't hesitate, just call.
All right, I want to dig deep here on Rebecca because I'm just not sure about her. Manuel, let's talk here. We know that she had the shiner when she was, it was kind of hard to see in that video, but a black eye was visible on her when they were announcing that baby Emmanuel was taken and that she was accosted in this parking lot. There it is. Thank you to our awesome director, Matt Woolley, for popping up that. Okay, so look at that. That doesn't look fresh, right? You know, we discussed this and we're going, that looks like that might have been there before this incident when the baby was allegedly taken. Manuel, I wonder if Jake Haro was abusing Rebecca as well. When she was standing there with him, she looked terrified to me. And I wondered if she was afraid of what he may do if she speaks out here. I'm kind of wondering, is she not the guilty party here? What do you say?
Well, it's kind of a double-sided sword. She is and she isn't. She's a victim first. She's a victim of domestic violence and a victim of, in my opinion, professionally, is Stockholm Syndrome. This man brainwashed her. She was beaten so much that she, did anything to survive herself and lied for him. And I think this is why she hasn't admitted guilt to anything and she's still sticking to the same original lie. That's something to note right now. But those injuries, as we stated way back in the beginning of this case, Julie, and you and I were both agreeing that she is a victim of abuse and that this is what caused her to lie. And the problem is, I hope she not only gets sentenced, but I hope she really gets the help that she needs, Julie, because truly, she doesn't even fully aware of what she's still doing. Even though her husband admitted to everything, she's still sticking to the same lie that somebody stole her baby. This just shows you how mentally incapacitated this woman is.